A very, very good morning. We're in the middle of Storm Diana here, and I'm busy running in and out, putting bird food out, filling up feeders, and just generally, reassuring them all out there that food is on its way. I'll just pan out the window, just for a tick, just to show you. Always the best thing to do when there's chaos outside, like a storm or terrible weather or a storm in your heart or whatever it is just to concentrate for a little while anyway on the needs of others. It's very uplifting. And just watching those little birds. And I've scattered lots and lots of food all over the driveway as well. It seems as though there's been a migration of birds into Beltona Cottage. But getting back to this beautiful little creature here sat on my rocking chair. Was it Noreen? Who was it who mentioned yesterday on the comment section, do you have any deer come onto your property? Well, yes. And here he is, look, he sat on my rocking chair. But I'll tell you the story of this because yesterday I went down to Sligo, just briefly. Jack, we've got packages all over the place here, which I'm going to talk about in a tick. Jack's a wee bit wet because I've had to go down the driveway and collect one big package that was down there. So, went down to Sligo yesterday. I had some stuff to leave into one of the charity shops that I support, and I had a good old rummage around, and I found some beautiful little china cows, which I'm going to unpack and put up somewhere. I paid €10 for 5, so they were €2 each. They're absolutely gorgeous. I haven't unpacked them yet. Look at your man there with his head on the sofa listening to me. I haven't unpacked them yet, but I'll take some photographs and put them up on Twitter. Any of you, by the way, who want to have a little morning update every morning, I put a little update, 2 or 3 photographs or whatever, up on Twitter just to say good morning and what the day is like. Now, the Twitter feed also comes through onto the website. Okay, here I am rambling all over the place. I think I need a cup of tea. So, off I went then to a second charity shop, which is actually Oxfam. And look at this. A small price to change the world. I love supporting charity shops because it's guilt-free buying, you see. So I paid €15 for this beautiful, beautiful boy. Now his head's a wee bit wobbly, so I need just to put a little bit more stuffing or something into his neck. So I shall do that. But anyway, and then he can sit up straight and his little antlers can look a bit more realistic. So anyway, I need a name for him. I don't know what to call him. But as it's getting towards the 1st of December, which is when I traditionally put my little decks up, this year I'm going to be bringing a lovely big branch of something in. And I'll probably walk down through the woodland gardens and find little bits of, bits and pieces blown off during this storm. Because Storm Diana has been quite fierce, but I think it's mostly past now. But this little chap is going to sit underneath my decorations. And I just think he's lovely. He's absolutely gorgeous. And, isn't he? He was just sat there waiting for me. Beautiful. Anyway, so I've got some thank yous to say this morning. Thank yous for people who've sent me presents. And please forgive me if I don't get all the names in. Honestly, I've been terribly spoilt by you all. And I've tried to keep a list of people who've sent me prezzies and cards. Well, actually, the list is wanting somewhat, because in all the activity over the past few weeks, I probably haven't kept my list up to date. But anyway, I'll do my best. So this morning, the postman arrived with a few little packages and cards, and he said, Colette, he said, I thought there was a package down by the gate that the courier has dropped off. And I said, I'll go down and have a wee look. So down I went, and a huge big package, which is over here, and I'm going to show you in a moment. And it's actually the most beautiful print. So I'm going to share this beautiful print with you and the message, and I hope that the person who sent it, Glenn, doesn't mind me sharing the message, but I just think it's so beautiful and I love to share. Oh, what's this here? This looks like a card. Oh, I've got a letter as well. Oh, right. I'll read that in a moment. Well, what do you think of this absolutely beautiful, beautiful print? Isn't that the embodiment of the Divine Feminine? Of Mother Earth? So, I'm going to read you the little card. Look at this beautiful wee card, look. Dear Colette and the gang, I hope you like the little print I send you. It just expresses to me everything that you and Beatha Cottage are all about. Thank you for all your lovely videos. Every time you upload, a new relaxing journey begins. It's just truly fantastic to be able to take a stroll in the magical forest of Beltana. Even more magical being thousands of miles away. Best wishes and happy birthday, Glenn. The print is by a Polish artist. No, I'm not going to get this pronunciation right, but it looks like Pawel Jonca. Title: The Seed. Limited edition of fine prints on archival paper. 42 of 100. Isn't that lovely? So, I've got some lovely cards here as well. This one came this morning, and a little prezzy inside from Roxana. This is a little beautiful little angel holding a star. And these are cards which are a wee bit more personal, because they're about, you know, my darling Samuel. And I shall read them in due course. Not just at the moment. I need to have the space to read these. Okay. Now, also a little bit of something to read out here. But first of all, I want to say a thank you to Barbara Martin, Cornelia Braun, Gail Elizabeth England, Beth Trepper, Carol and Eric, Kim Cartmill, Mary Sally Palmeres, Jen Morrison's, Irene from Brooklyn, Barbara, Fiona Corbett, Linda Joy, Barbara Wingrove, Davina Utting and Charlie, Ellis of Holly Lodge, Elizabeth Alwyn. Now there's more, and I know there's more, and I've missed names out. Please, just thank you so much. And people have also sent donations, and I've all the donations that have been sent are going to be used for bird food, and if not bird food, then a few more trees, because as some of the beautiful willow, which were all grown from cuttings, but as some of that willow begins to fall over, I'm going to plant hardwood trees, so oak and ash and hawthorn and just a whole, and birch as well. Actually, birch isn't a hardwood, but birch as well. So because all the bare-rooted trees have come in to the garden centre. But I just want to read out this little email. So just bear with me now, a wee minute. Okay. Dear Colette, I don't expect any response to this email, as I understand how very stretched you must be. Hang on. Let me just reconnect to my little hotspot. I don't know how I managed to keep in contact with the world through a little hotspot on a phone, but anyway, it does very well. Dear Colette, I don't expect any response to this email, as I understand how very stretched you must be as a one-woman dynamo. I can't even imagine how you manage to get so much done. Absolutely inspirational. Well, I think I explained how I get so much done. I just potter about from one thing to another and keep a little flow going. And eventually everything happens, everything comes together, you know, you just keep at it. Plus the fact I don't like being bored. Back to the email. I mentioned this to you briefly last week, but I wanted to say just how invaluable your videos have been recently to some members of an online health forum, in brackets, people with a rare autoimmune disease, close brackets, many of whom are really struggling and quite depressed. Thinking it might help, I uploaded some links to several of your videos to the forum, and the response has been quite wonderful. They have made a real difference to many people who are often hardly motivated to get out of bed. Here is but one response, Colette, and as you can see, it is compelling. This woman has been so depressed, we have all been very concerned about her. What a wonderful post. So uplifting and positive. Just perfect and great advice. I am again battling the morning demons, and on your suggestion I went out into my garden. Oh, the effect was instant and lovely. Thank you, dear friend. It was almost as though I could hear you saying, see, life is good and constantly changing. And I felt very emotional. Bless you for that. You will never know how much joy you have given to many of us with the gorgeous videos. Just hearing your voice affirming that it's a lovely morning made my blood pressure drop and my system relax. What a tonic you are, dearest. That's the end of the message. Della, who's written this email, goes on to say, many others on our global forum responded similarly. I just wanted you to know, Colette, how invaluable your videos and blogs have been for people you may never ever be aware of, although I am very sure you would get many similar responses from all over the world. So many, many thanks for helping to possibly save someone's life, if not necessarily materially or literally, then in spirit. Thank you, Della. It's lovely to hear these. It's lovely to hear these stories because, as I say again and again, you know, I live here on my own. I don't have television or many visitors or anything like that. Not that I'd have the time for visitors, or the time for television, but I digress. But living on my own, it's important for me to get feedback from all of you out there. And also, I think it's lovely to leave comments on the videos, because I'm beginning to read now that other people, just reading down through the comments, feel very buoyed up by them and feel very embraced and very nurtured by them, to know that there are so many people in the world who think similarly. Because let's face it, I mean, there's so much utter nonsense out there on television and radio and social media platforms, you know, the internet. And sometimes one can feel quite alone. That, you know, am I the only person who's thinking rationally? Or who is feeling? Or am I the only person who's a bit sad today? Or am I the only person who thinks the same way as Colette, you know? Because you all know, as my son says, I'm sitting here in the front seat of the roller coaster of life, clutching my box of frogs, proudly, may I add. Because yes, of course I believe that Mother Earth is alive and she's a sentient being, and she's aware of all of us. And all she wants to do is to be abundant and joyful. So, I'm going to take you outside now that the storm has passed. So, yes, there are obviously lots more prezzies I should have shared with you, and messages and cards. Just thank you to everyone. Please take this as a personal thank you. Now, I found the little birch wreath that I made. Oh, it must be 5 or 6 years ago. Okay, and it's still good. So this is what I'm going to be making. But I think after this storm, there'll probably be a lot of birch twigs blown off trees, because the birch loses a lot of its twigs, a lot of its little branches, hence why we have these beautiful birch brooms. I think people long ago made their brooms from birch. Look at this, it's all still, and there's a brightening, a wonderful brightening. Of course, it's been very overcast and very, well, not very, incredibly stormy. And here we are. We're back to a sort of normality. And there's birds singing. And the polytunnel is still standing. Look, I can see it through the arch. It just completely amazes me how that polytunnel has stayed up for now 14 years. Totally mind-boggling. Now, I bet there's a lot of water running down through the pond. I sort of scooted past it in the rain. I could see all the rain on it. There's a few little flies. Look, a few little, tiny little flies. Which is good. It means that there's still plenty of food here for the birds. So, let's just take you down to the pond. Come on, Jack. Jack. This way. Come on, let's walk down. It's a little flower out in the viburnum. Look at that. Happy Tuesday. I love the way life just goes on. It just goes on. Doesn't pay any heed to all the comings and goings and the ups and the downs. Just keeps going on. Jack's got his wee toy, look. I don't know why he's carrying it down the drive. Maybe he thinks, if I take this down the drive, somebody might stop their car. Oh, he's dropped it. He's dropped it. Amazing how the storm has just ended. So suddenly, really. You know, you just could not put a money value on birdsong. It's impossible. Can't do it. These are all up in the trees there, look. And the little one up there. I'm probably getting rain on the lens now, but never mind. Now, the only thing, Glenn, I mean, that is the most beautiful, beautiful picture. But I'm going to either need to expand my cottage get a bigger house. I'd quite like one of those beautiful big Georgian houses. I could live like Mrs. Bennet. No, not like Mrs. Bennet. Elizabeth Bennet. Could pretend to be Elizabeth Bennet. And Pride and Prejudice. Could hang lots of pictures on the walls. But I don't think I could leave Beatha. No, I couldn't. Jack, come. I'm going to throw this wee toy for him now. The leaf fall this year has been incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, let's have a look at the pond. Oh yes. This is a very deep layer of leaves. I mean, this is going to make a massive build up in soil. Say over the next 20 years, if this kind of leaf fall keeps expanding like it has, there's going to be quite a depth of soil built up here just on the leaf fall alone. Look at the reflection of the fern in the water over there. Isn't that beautiful? And all the lichens up there in that alder tree. Lichens are a sign of good air quality. Just hear the birds. Oh, they're singing. Across this way and go back up. You see, this is what should happen to all the rainwater. That it slowly moves through the landscape and through ponds and lakes and meanders and is allowed to meander. Because where you have meandering water, you have fertility and the ability to grow, and you have life. The water of life. Now I'm going to tell you something which I often do myself and which you will definitely find to be very beneficial. You can bless water, and it's a very simple thing to do. Get a glass of good water, living water, water that has not been polluted with chemicals, and pour it into a glass, a clean glass, and simply bless it. And you can infuse that water with all kinds of healing properties. Might be to heal the mind, to help heal the body, to uplift your spirit, or you may want to bless it for someone else. Water has memory, and it's something that I think we all knew, but couldn't articulate or didn't have the ability to articulate, you know. And this has always been very important for me, because I can remember my father, when any of us was ill, he would cycle out to a special spring well about 3 miles out of the town, and he'd come back with bottles of this water, which he said that we must drink to get better. So he would have imbued that water with a strong sense of healing, and probably not even been aware of it. Well, not consciously, but of course subconsciously. That's where so much of our wisdom remains. Blessings to you all.